now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Ruhl. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Hey, yo, welcome back, everybody. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Chief Boss, Terry Foster, back in effect. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. We got them all. We are ready to roll. What is it? Wednesday, right?
Hump day.
Hump day, that's
Hump
where
day,
it's
baby.
at. So we are moving through.
Terry's favorite day of the week?
And it doesn't matter what. They're all hump days when you're Terry Foster.
Bing, bang, boom.
That's what they say.
That's what they say.
That's what I've been told. I was told that too for a long time in the city.
You can't believe everything you hear.
Okay. All right. That's fair. A lot of football to get to today. As you know, Detroit City FC in the house as well. Our guy Antoine Hoppenot will be in studio coming up in about 25 minutes from now. Detroit City FC wrapping up their regular season, getting ready for the playoffs. T-Foss. There is one team in the city going to the playoffs.
Okay. Congratulations.
As we've said here on Big D Energy, that the championship team in the city is Detroit Football Club. I think the consistency at Keyworth Stadium, the environment, the Northern Guard, they've earned everything. I'm excited because we talked to Antoine at the beginning of the season and how the excitement was around there. Now to see they've really put themselves in the position, and they deserve this. They deserve that they've gone out and they've done everything that's been expected and more of them. So, hey, give them their flowers. They deserve it.
Yeah. Now, Neal, are you tapping out on the Lions? They're not going to make the playoffs?
Yeah, I'm out.
Okay. All right.
Check as we talked about on Monday, Terry, not only am I out, and the second I'm out on them making the playoffs, I'm in on rolling the tanks in the streets.
Okay. Roll the tanks and let's get some quality players in here.
Winning only hurts you from here on out.
True. But that's what they're going to try to do. And, they're going to win some meaningless games, and it'll get people fired up again, and then they'll bring up, maybe they have momentum for next year, which is a fallacy.
Yeah, but
you play to win the game.
I keep hearing with the remainder games that people's expectations or their acceptance level is 6-6, right? Which goes to the acceptance level for the coaching staff, right? If they do what they're supposed to do in tank, right, and win 2 games or 3 games and get that pick, this coach can't be here then, right? So isn't it a double-edged sword? Are you going to move forward tanking with the same coaching staff?
Yeah, I mean, and look, Terry, when I say tank, when I say roll the tanks in the street, I think you guys know I say that a little bit tongue-in-cheek. They are... they're not actively trying to lose games.
Thanks for letting us know. Sometimes you're
saying just lose.
Just lose, baby.
Play as hard as you can, but then lose.
But then lose. Just lose, baby. Because you're penalized for winning. But we'll have this discussion. Unfortunately, we have a whole nother season. It's only the beginning of October. And remember, we got to get through into January with this.
True. Now, young man, are you saying the Dallas game is a must-lose game?
Must lose.
Okay.
Got to lose the games. You have to lose the games you're supposed to lose.
Okay. I know we were talking about must-win a couple weeks ago. Now we're must-lose.
Hey, life moves fast in the National Football League, man.
Especially with your Detroit Lions.
Yeah, absolutely. Marvin Bagley, for those of you that don't know, hurt yesterday in the exhibition game for the Pistons. He's undergoing testing as we speak. Did not look good in terms of being helped off the floor. I know, Spence.
That sucks. That sucks big time. He was supposed to be a good player. A centerpiece to his team this year. One of our highest scorers on the team, and you hate to see anybody go down like that. But especially somebody who's, coming into their own, likes the city, likes playing for the city. New lease on life.
Yeah,
exactly.
New scenery.
And you hate to see that happen, especially non-contact knee injury like. Never is a good thing. So hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully it's just a sprain, and we'll see Bags out there. But man, it didn't look good. Like, you're right.
No, absolutely. And our WoodwardSports.com chat, remember you can tap in, get involved there. Quentin Yearling says, good morning, everybody. He was first in. Big Play Jay tried to slide in there. He's got a funny one. Just like that, my 2-game streak is over, just like the Lion season. Yeah, life moves fast in the WoodwardSports.com chat too, Terry.
That's what I'm learning.
That's what you were told, D-Mac. But
Absolutely.
I did want to touch on this too, because, oh, by the way, Justin Verlander, nice effort. But D-Mac, he got bailed out again. He always just does. Like the World Series.
We're going to forget that. And, what did he give up? 4 runs through 2 innings?
6, I think it was, wasn't it? I think it was one of his worst playoff outings ever.
Was it like 10 hits?
It was bad.
And, so Justin Verlander got bailed out and stuff like this. The Astros won. And
10 hits,
but
6
the question
runs.
to me is the question I asked you, Neal, because what it really banged out to me was Seattle, because they're in the playoffs for the first time in 20 years or in a long, long time. And what Seattle are they going to recover from this? Probably not. And you told me, well, it goes to show you, would you rather be where you're at with your Tigers dome or David Ortiz, Torrey Hunter falling over the fence in Wrigley Field? Right? Which way? And you told me.
Yeah, because you asked me the question. You said, would you rather have your heart ripped out like that, or would you rather the season go the way it went for the Tigers? And A, we saw it in Boston, like it did happen. But B, I'm always going to choose that because you're in the arena. Like, you got a shot, man. There's no hope with this Tigers team. And as we know, as I tried to tell you, when Jamer Candelario is your cleanup hitter on opening day, you lose.
No, and you had a great analogy about what Scott Harris and everybody did to the fact of finally firing the head scout after 15 years. I mean, it's something that puts it in a positive and move forward, but it's a good sign. But we saw it coming, right? We saw it coming. So I don't know. Seattle was resilient enough to get by Toronto. You don't think you can come back from something like this, but they have a few more games. So yeah, I'd rather be. I guess you brought it up. It's just the pain. And I've been there. I've lost in the finals twice, stuff like that. So there is that pain. Thank goodness that have more wins than that. But it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, because at least you get to the stadium and you get the hot dog and the beer.
Hey, right. And for me, Terry, that's why with Scott Harris, and I was kind of when they hired him and stuff like that, but I was out there with it. I said, look, man, until some things change in terms of drafting, scouting, player development, it doesn't matter because there is decades of evidence to the contrary.
True, but you're not going to get change until you get someone who's about change. So you shouldn't have been.
Yeah, but Terry, we've seen it in this town too many times. You've seen it over an entire career. The faces can change, but the philosophy doesn't change. The protection of people that are crappy at their jobs doesn't change. You've seen that a lot.
True, but he got rid of somebody, and really, he didn't just come in and fire the head scouting guy. Someone had to tell him, hey, this guy's not doing his job, so if you want to get rid of him, go ahead. So then he makes the move. So looks like they have a young guy, looks like he's got some power, and that should be a positive.
And it is. And D-Mac, and I'll say this too, because you know it, we all know it. I've been a guy that's really came down hard on Chris Ilitch about how he's handled the Tigers. I have. But I have to be fair about it. Because the one thing that I clamored for did it instantly. When he brought his new guy in, it was handled. That's my pound of flesh right there. For decades of ineptitude in terms of drafting and developing players, all you can do is ask the guy to change it. And Chris Ilitch brought in Scott Harris and then allowed him to operate.
It reminded me of Steve Yzerman getting rid of Jeff Blashill. Wait till the end of the season, wait till the last game, and then boom. So to me, it's something that Terry said, you have to have somebody to come in here that he invokes a different mindset and change. And this is sort of when you start at the top, it shows us that, okay, something can be changed. If I'm talking about there's nothing in the cupboard in the minors and anything coming up, well, when you get rid of the scout, that's the apparent thing. It's not the coach, it's not the manager, A.J. Hinch per se, that is on the hot seat. It's getting A.J. Hinch those guys. So Scott Harris seems right now, step one, I can go with it. I'm paying attention again to see what he's going to do.
Right. And,
now let me gently nudge you on something.
Sure.
Did Chris Ilitch get rid of the GM, or did Steve Eisman make this pick? He was on the.
I hope more eyes. I hope this had Steve Eisman's influence, like we heard he was in on the discussions all over it. Because then, if Scott Harris and Steve Eisman are having a conversation, then it means that they're probably on the same page as far as even though it's baseball and hockey, but what needs to be done. Now, if you look at the Red Wings organization, Mr. Draft Capital, Mr. Salary Cap, all that stuff like this, is the Detroit Red Wings not only in hockey but in all of sports.
They're a model right now,
a model of it.
As the Lions are going to be soon too.
Right, but
we might be seeing history here.
But we're specifically talking about if you're going to take anybody's lead, it's Steve Eiserman's lead. So if Scott Harris, I hope you're absolutely right. The more Chris Ilitch isn't involved in any decision to what goes on the field or the talent or whatever, the better off we are.
I keep hearing that. But, we might be seeing history here. Steve Eisman, Executive of the Year in the NHL and Major League Baseball.
So why not set a precedent? And if somebody can do it, it's him. That just goes to show you, because it's getting culture in place. What we're talking about is that culture, and doesn't mean it's going to work. We don't see anything, but it's step one that you and I, Neal and Terry, probably you too, go, okay, I see you. You made a great analogy about turning around and taking the garage door.
And that's where it is. And we were talking before the show, Terry. You know how I like to compare the franchises,
of course,
as a trip going up north.
That's
and they're all at different spots, on I-75 going up north. And with the Tigers, like, we left the house and we got up the road almost to the Zilwaukee Bridge, and we had to turn around and go back because we thought somebody left the oven on. Like, we left the house in March. We thought we were going up to the Zilwaukee Bridge. We thought we were going up past Pinconning and that silly little cheese place that they have. And then I was in the back seat and I said, I think somebody left the oven on. So we had to turn all the way around and go back. And now, Terry, we're packing up the car again and we got to leave again. And it sucks, but I will give Chris Ilitch this. I will give him that. Because we can say, like, Yzerman and all that kind of stuff, but none of that stuff happens if Chris Ilitch doesn't want it to happen. You know what I'm saying? If he's not interested in things changing, it all stays the same. So as a guy that's been, a little tough on Chris Ilitch and the handling of the Tigers, I have to give him flowers today and say, you know what, good on you, because it's hard to look in that mirror and say, you know what, I was wrong. I was wrong keeping Alavila here. I was wrong the way this was set up, especially when you're, when you have a lot of money and you're a team owner and there's a lot of ego and stuff like that. It's even harder to look in that mirror. And you're insulated.
But I'm sure he heard the boos at Comerica Park. I'm sure he's heard people talk about he doesn't give a damn. And maybe that moved him to make some changes here. Because, they wanted to keep Alavila. You know why? Because he's a good guy. He's friendly.
Right, and that's the kind of ish that I'm talking. I don't care. Let me tell you what's not friendly. Losing 100 games. That's not friendly.
That's right. You know what? I may not like money, but here's what I do like. I like getting rid of incompetent people.
As do I. And it's what they did, and they took a step to it.
And Paul Johnson-ish says it, I'm all the way done with be patient requests from Detroit teams. We haven't won anything since 2008. We're all fed up too, but we have no choice. This is where we're at, and you got to go with it. So it's either be patient or, go watch Game of Thrones or something like that.
Yeah, well,
do you believe in the long-term plan? Steve Yzerman is going to be patient. That's just the way he is. He was kind of patient as a player. He was patient as a spokesperson, and he's patient in building this team. The question is, do you believe in him long term?
But
Brad
Terry,
Holmes is going to be patient too in some regards.
Right, but Terry, this is a sign to me of how sports have changed, in how professional sports have changed, especially with the advent of the salary cap era. When you make a bad move financially, I know you hate it, Terry, and you choose to ignore it. When you make a bad move financially, you pay twice. You pay for the terms of the guy you have on the roster that is not performing, and you pay financially, which it restricts your ability to replace said player. That's why it's more important than ever to have guys like Steve Yzerman and Brad Holmes that are able to maneuver financially. You have to have it, Terry. It's a non-negotiable. And look, D-Mac, In Edmonton, I'm a big Connor McDavid slappy. It ain't going to happen there because Ken Holland's not equipped to deal with it. In my opinion, he's not.
No. It all comes down to it. Everybody tries each year. I love what Southpaw Slab said, right? Look at it. Do we have the 4 worst franchises with possibly the 4 best GMs at the helm right now? If you look around and being in the position that your team is in, sort of at the bottom, but
that's to be determined.
To be determined.
That's to be determined.
But what I'm saying is I think all of us aren't trading any one of them in right now.
Bingo. Now, look, it's the financial reconstruction.
Well, that goes along with it also.
Right.
When you get deeper into it. I just thought on the surface that was brought up a good point, because that's the way I want it, right? You wouldn't want it the other way around, because then it very rarely works that way, having the best franchises with the worst GMs.
Right. And if I want the best insurance, Sam Flannel or Spencer Raxter.
Yeah, we have no Sam today. Sam's blocked out, so I'm going to be taking his reads for him. But if you want the best insurance, it's time to talk about Swiss. Not Hammond Swiss, which I like to talk about. Swiss Insurance Group.
All right.
Do you know that 1 in 6 kids will develop a medical condition that makes them uninsurable? Swiss Insurance can save you money on your auto and home, resulting in no out-of-pocket costs to insurance for your children. Check out Mark at Swiss Insurance and make sure your family is protected. This is Big D Energy, and we'll be right back.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Off and running, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, T. Foss, Terry Foster, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well, WoodwardSports.com, chat, thread, Detroit Dabber 313, Antoine Hoppenot, any updates on Stephen Carroll's hamstring, losing him versus Louisville was brutal. Can't confirm, my friend. We'll ask Antoine about it. He's not a doctor, but we'll ask. Remind me when we talk to Antoine Hoppenot coming up in about 10 minutes or so, live in studio. Mike G, yo, where Aaron Glenn be hiding? I don't know. I didn't know he was. Is he hiding, T-Foss?
No, I thought he spoke the other day.
Did he? I didn't catch it. So
I didn't either, but
yeah.
I thought I heard that.
I was told.
Yes. And I believe everything I'm told was on the internet.
It's bye week, guys. Take a break. We got all this for next week. We can get back into it. He'll reappear.
You can't take a break from the Lions because this city embraces that team so much.
Can take a break from the Lions.
You can, but as a whole,
I'm trying to implore people that they can also. I understand what you're saying, Terry, but that's why we're here.
Right.
Alternatives.
Pietro Cruz at WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Holmes is doing what he's supposed to be doing. Dan Campbell is not. Let Campbell go if he goes 1 and 6 at the end of the year and allow Holmes to pick his own head coach. What do you think, Neal? It's getting to be that danger zone. I mean,
danger zone.
Yeah, I want to get him through the second year and into the third, and give him kind of the Matt Ruhl. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
Am I being obtuse?
No, that's fair. But unless you know this guy can't turn it around, I don't see what's the problem with doing it at the end of the year.
And D-Mac, I need to be consistent, right? I can't say things one way and then when the subject changes, be another way about it. Because what am I consistent about, D-Mac? In poker, the second you know you can't win, what do?
Fold.
You fold the hand. These cards aren't good enough to win with. Get me new cards. If you do the, and look, I don't want to take.
But again, what's the alternative to playing smart, knowing that you're beat? Because in poker, if you're using that analogy, what do people do even though they know they're beat?
Bluff.
All in, right? That's what we're all in. I look at the statement about Dan Campbell saying it's rock bottom. I don't believe in rock bottom. I'm an addict. There's no such thing as rock bottom. It'll keep going.
Thank you. And that's where I am too with that.
No, because here's the thing. We're talking about the Lions because, first of all, we know the inefficiencies on defense. So I'm not even going to bring that up. The big question here to everything else going to if they finish 1-6, Brad Holmes getting his own guy. I look at these next 3 games. Am I right? It's Dallas, Green Bay, and Miami, right? Right? The next 3 games.
Yes.
What did Bill Belichick just do to you that hadn't been done all year? Right? He cracked the levee on your offense. That you didn't, first time Ben Johnson, whether it's a rookie offensive coordinator, but he got NFL. Right? What you would expect him to do. He's a rookie. If we're going to expect rookie players to get some time to progress, you got to give this guy. So my thinking is, how does the offense adjust in these next 3 games when Dallas has 2 weeks to probably throw the same scheme sort of at you defensively? Plus you have a better defense coming at you. Dallas's defense is better, right? Miami's defense is the only one that is suspect there. But what I'm saying is this is an audition for Ben Johnson. If this offense comes back and Jared Goff gets back to being more of the first 4 games than it was a misnomer in New England, that puts the spotlight on Ben Johnson as what you could be seeing is that might be the next coach moving in there, right? Brad Holmes hired Ben Johnson as offensive coordinator, right? Right, gave him the job to that.
We're going to see.
So what I'm saying is I'm looking to see, not like the defense is already garbage. It's hot garbage. Do I think it's going to get fixed? No. The talent, the scheme, you haven't shown me anything, so I'm not focused on that. The offensive side, because that has been a plus. Now, obviously, we get guys healthy. Do we get guys coming back and stuff? But I'm looking to see, to me, the spotlight or the headlamp is on Ben Johnson and his offense.
Well, it's on him because whatever Belichick did to the Lions, everybody else now is saying, okay, we're going to do the same thing until you prove you can beat this.
Amen.
See, like, I do have an issue with the rock bottom statement along the same lines of what D-Mac was talking about. I don't believe in rock bottoms either, man. I just believe that you allow stuff to continue until you stop allowing it to continue. It's very binary, man.
Right.
Like
it is binary.
Yeah.
It's Justin Tucker. I make it, I'm good. I miss it, I'm not.
and that's it, man.
But fellas,
when you break it down,
wasn't that rock bottom? I think he's talking about that game was rock bottom. That was the worst game of this season. They were not competitive. So he maybe meant it in that regard. It was rock bottom because we weren't even in, or they weren't even in the game.
It's rock bottom at the moment, Terry.
Yeah, wait until Buffalo comes to town on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, what do you expect there?
Oh, that's going to be double rock bottom on the rocks.
No, it'll just be something you allow to continue to happen. There is no rock bottom in life, man. There's not.
What about sports?
No. You just allow something to continue to happen until you change it. That's it. Okay. Like I know, right? It's comforting to try to dig deeper and find more meaning.
That's
and
what
all that
you're
kind
doing.
of stuff. No, I'm not. Like, you just decide that you're not going to continue that way.
No, I think you're looking into this way deeper than you should. I think what he said, when you look at the games that the Lions have played this year, that was the worst this year. They hit rock bottom. And in the same vein, he's saying, we're going to rise from rock bottom. That's going to be the low point of the season, about to rise from that.
Are you kidding me? So nobody thinks that Buffalo, like, rock bottom means that, like, we're saying that you can't go further down? Really, when you got Josh Allen and Buffalo coming in, that's going to kick your face through the tundra to whatever? What I'm saying is it's a black hole. Now, you might have hit a ledge where you think that, I hope this is the lowest we fall, but I'm telling you, rock bottom, it's a black hole. Because you haven't proven
I don't think you know rock bottom. I don't think you know rock bottom until later.
If you are a football coach and you just got your ass kicked, you're thinking that's going to be the worst because my job is to elevate this team, and this team is going to be elevated. I'm not thinking Buffalo. I'm thinking I got my ass kicked by New England, and it ain't happening again. That's what you think when you're a head coach.
Okay.
Right, but you can't determine rock bottom until you're looking back later. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but dude, we don't know what's going to happen next week or the week after. From this point, looking back, that was rock bottom. Was that the worst game of the season for the Lions?
Yeah, right. Sure.
Okay. In other words, it was rock bottom.
No,
But
hey, I get it, 100%.
the mentality of a coach is, we hit rock bottom, it's going to get better. And he even said later that better days are going to come. Now, you don't have to believe it. I don't believe it. But they will be better than what they were last Sunday.
9 Drinks says, Neal, you're the money man. They still have to pay this guy for 4 years. That's not, coaches don't go on the cap, so I don't care. That's all. You just decide. It's a lot like my Tigers discussion. You wake up in baseball and decide that you're going to be good. That's it. Like, you can wake up one day and decide you're going to write the check and go get a new coach, period, end of story. So, that's different.
If you were in charge of the franchise, I'd be really worried if I was Dan Campbell, because after he got fired and that first check comes in, it'll bounce if you were in charge of it.
Well, I have to pay, you got to pay the contract. So,
okay.
But, yeah, I mean, maybe we could try that, make you work for it a little bit.
It'll bounce.
Yeah, it probably would. But I just don't know. Can you sink any lower, I guess, is the question. Yes, the answer is always yes.
Yeah, it is always yes, but once again, you're not thinking like a coach. You're thinking like a goofball.
Yeah, that's because the coach is going to give you a moral victory, right? You're going to come out of here and go, oh, we're not rock bottom. We played better. It wasn't our worst game. We got pumped, but we lost. But, we played better. We're working on things.
No, what he's saying
for 30 years
is that piece of shit you saw last weekend is the worst you're going to see. I guarantee.
But I
that's
don't
what
believe
he's
it, Terry.
You don't have to believe it. He believes it.
I don't even. Do you think he believes it? Because
yes.
I don't know if he believes it. That's the whole thing.
Well,
is that maybe there's a crack in that.
I don't know, man. It's fatiguing already, and it's a bye week, guys. Like, God, man, come on. Well, hey, we're going to talk playoffs when we come back, because Antoine Hoppenot will be here in studio, Detroit City FC.
What are the playoffs?
Yeah, it's a new concept. We'll have Antoine break it all down, how it all works and everything like that. Let me tell you about the Sports Marketing Agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast called This is the S Word. It helps fight the stigma attached with seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, go to thesportsma.com, the Sports Marketing Agency. They're here to help.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know it, you've heard of it. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. 2 different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play as well as private lane reservation for $120 if you get thirsty. They have a mystery beer vending machine, $2 for a good beer. If you want to make a decision, they have multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So make sure you come check them out in Hamtramck or visit them online at foalingwarehouse.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. It's time to talk some soccer. Antoine Hoppenot of Detroit City FC live here in studio. LaRouge has punched their ticket to the USL Championship playoffs. Where, the scenery, all that stuff is to be determined. A ton is still up in the air. Could be a home match, Could go on the road. We don't know yet. They play Miami Saturday at 4 down at keyword.cityfc.com. 4 tickets. They're running out though. They're just about gone. So if you wanna get down there, get in there. Antoine, what's up, man? Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's nice to be back.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you tapping in all season long. Antoine Hoppenot, you lead the USL Championship in assists.
That is true. Yes.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, I know. It's true. It is true. Did you expect that when you walked in the door, when you showed up here for DCFC this year? Did you expect that?
I wasn't really sure what to expect, but obviously I knew I could do it. I've never led the league in assists, but I've always been kind of at the top.
Right.
Several years, so it's always something that I kind of knew I could do, and Trevor gave me the opportunity to really go out there and be myself, and I think that's showcased itself throughout the year, and I've been able to get a lot of assists, and it's a credit to my team as well, who obviously get me in good positions, and then I can't get an assist if they don't score, so it's pretty important for them to put the ball in the back of the net.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Thanks, Antoine, for obviously such an exciting season. Talking to you before the season's almost played out along the way. When you reflect back, and obviously you guys still have goals and don't know you're playing, the fact that, sitting here at the beginning of the season to make the playoffs was a goal of yours. When you reflect back, what are a few of the key moments, that you think of? Is it some of those big wins on the road? Was it like Holden coming back, some of the comebacks that you had? Like, what has made this team, because I gotta believe from what I watch is that you guys are in the mix in this playoff. You're not just there as hey, here's your flowers and
it's cool to be
done.
here.
You've made a mark. You've made your name known. Everybody knows DCFC throughout the soccer league. So what were some of the key moments you think to that?
I think one of the big ones in the beginning of the year, the Open Cup win against Columbus, I think really gave the guys and us as a locker room the belief that we can beat anyone. If we're going out there and beating MLS teams, we can go out there and beat USL teams. Like, that's kind of a fact. So we've after that win, I think it gave us a lot of confidence. And then a few games ago, we played in Colorado Springs and had a pretty good win there. And then a couple games later, we beat Tampa at home. And I think those 2 games really gave the team a lot of belief here going into the playoffs that we can do it, because both those teams are competing for a championship. So if we're able to go and beat them, we can beat anyone.
Antoine Hoppenot joining us here of Detroit City FC. They're in action Saturday at Keyword 4 o'clock opening kick against the Miami FC, and they have their spot reserved in the playoffs. Could they host a match? Will they go on the road? We'll all find that out as the final week of the USL Championship season wraps up this weekend. But Antoine, you personally, man, I mean, you came in here. You were kind of Trevor's addition to give that veteran presence, and you've been a guy. Look, you played all over. You played at the top levels of American soccer, college soccer, all that stuff. Spent a lot of time in the MLS as well. Had a long career in the MLS also. What about you personally? That's a lot, man. Like, that's a lot for you, because look, I've done USL matches for ESPN for a while now, and I know what the talk was, and talking with other people around the USL and what their expectations were of Detroit City FC. And let's just say not a ton was expected of you guys. Here you come, you show up, you're the veteran presence. You're kind of, you're the guy that's going to shoulder a lot of the load, and you do that emotionally. I always say on the television broadcast, I'm sure you've heard, I never have to wonder what you're thinking. You make it known what you're thinking. But I like that kind of stuff. Do your teammates like that? The people around the organization, do they like that too? Because Antoine, I like that you're the veteran, man. You've been around the block. That's the level you have to get to.
I don't know if my teammates like that. I think so, but I think they like it when I'm being positive. But I think it's a testament to the locker room, and it's a testament to the guys in there as well, that I could come in and they accepted me as a player, but they also accepted the fact that I had a lot of experience, and they were willing to listen to me and learn from me. And then it's also, you got, Steve, who's our captain, who does a great job keeping the team together, and he shoulders a lot of that leadership burden. A bunch of other guys have also come in and been leaders as well. I think there's not a clear cut leader who really pushes the locker room. I think it's an entire roster of players who really want to push themselves and each other.
Coming here to Detroit, have you noticed? Because here's what I like about Detroit City. What I like about working for them, D-Mac. Like this team, this roster has taken on that identity.
Oh, absolutely.
You've been down there multiple. That's what you love about it, man.
I tell you, I'll turn in the broadcast just to see the opening at home, to see the Northern Garden and stuff like this, just to see the rockin' atmosphere, because it's downtown in the city and stuff. If you haven't been, it's an experience, and
right.
It's as close to me as you can get to watching that Premier League or European experience over there, and the guys really, to that aspect, feed off it. But there's also, too, a maturity that has to come that I've seen from this team as you've grown together. Maybe that's the question that I have is, for you guys to be successful, Neal brought it up as talking to all the pundits or the experts, DCFC is supposed to be this. Well, whether you guys are looked as, overachievers or anything, I don't see that to the secret of your success. Obviously, throughout the year, being healthy and going into the playoffs, and we're going to ask you about Stephen Carroll and stuff like this, about being healthy. But what has it been as far as what has made this team really tick? And if you're going to be successful moving forward, what do we have to see?
I think it's just trusting each other. I think at the end of the day, if the locker room culture is good and the players in there like each other and want to play for each other and want to fight for each other, and trust each other to do their job, then it's an easier game. If you can trust the guy next to you to do his job, then all you have to do is do your job. And I think at the end of the day, I think that's really what ended up happening is everyone does their job and everyone knows the guy next to them will do their job. And if we do that, we're going to be really hard to beat.
Antoine Hoppenot joining us here of Detroit City FC, leads the USL in assists. But kind of backing up to that, Antoine, and you're a guy, you lived all over the world. Have multiple, lived in Paris, obviously here in America as well. Detroit and being here. And as I talk about this team and the people I talk to in the USL circles, that the word that they always used about Detroit City, they're cute, right? They're cute. They got good fans and everything like that. But this is the upper levels of American soccer. This is something different. But you guys have showed up on the scene, and no matter what was thought of you guys going into it, you're here. And you're going to the playoffs, and you're a factor to be taken seriously. You beat the best teams in this league. Have you noticed that in being here in Detroit, kind of that, I guess, being overlooked a little bit? Because, again, going to this roster, and you guys are kind of a mirror to this city, where not a lot was thought about you, about what you guys were going to be able to do. But, look, here you are. You're persevering. Do you get that feeling? Do you feel like you're vibing with Detroit?
Yeah, I feel like from the moment I came here, obviously I appreciate these vibes. I think it's, I grew up near the Philly area and all that stuff, and I think the vibes are very similar. I think there's a similar concept of put your head down, work hard, and things will ultimately work out for you. And I think as a team we've done that. I think we've really we've put our heads down, we've worked hard. We haven't really listened to the noise of you're not good enough, this level's too high for you. And a lot of the guys, just put their head down, do their job, and they show it on the field. And then once you show it on the field, you can't really take it away from anyone. Once you're successful, it's impossible for anyone to take that away from you.
My question to you, Antoine, is going into the last game, you guys have locked up a playoff, but you don't know who you're going to play. My question, would you rather have that first game be a home game against maybe a tougher opponent, or on the road against, do you have a preferred opponent to say if you had to play on the road? In the hockey playoffs and stuff like this, when you have matchups and brackets, sometime a top team or another team can beat out a competition that you don't have to face. I'm going to use us as an example. In '98, we didn't have to go through Colorado. We went through Dallas because they got beat out. Is there an easier path for you guys, and is it more important to start off at home, or is it just get out there and play?
We would like to have a home game. I think, for us and for the organization and obviously for the fans, it's pretty important for us to have a home game. But we don't really care. I think we've played really well away from home.
Facts.
I think we're one of those teams that kind of like to go and get, in the mud and go into a game and really make it difficult on teams to break us down and beat us. So we don't really mind doing that at someone else's stadium and kind of hopefully kicking them out of the playoffs at their place. But obviously we would like a home game. I think that would be really cool. I think the fans would show up and be pretty insane if we were able to do that. So we'll do our best. I think there's a game tonight that will determine whether or not that game on Saturday will give us that opportunity or not. So
okay, well, it's sort of like TFOS back in the day. We go on the road, we take the W, we go drink their beverages and talk to their women. Exactly. That's the DCFC way.
Antoine, what about, and we had some questions in the woodwardsports.com chat. They're asking about, people that watched the match last week. Obviously saw Stephen Carroll go out of that match with the hamstring issue. Has he been in practice? And I'm not asking to be a doctor or anything like that. It's just, what's the kind of the vibe with Stephen Carroll right now?
Steven's vibing. He's Steven. He's Irish, so we kind of just let him figure it out, and he'll be fine. I think. I think he's. I don't think he would ever miss a playoff game. So I think he'll make sure he'll be all right for that one.
Yeah. So
hey, can we get that clipped? He's Irish. Yeah, he'll let him figure it out. I love that though. And that goes to what you're talking about as far as that locker room, as far as that trust in other guys to be prepared to do what they need to do. And when you look at, when I look at your team, obviously it's Nate in net, and it's Carroll bat in the back, it's Maxie in the mid, and it's you up front. Getting it done. It's been absolute pleasure to watch. Is there any surprises? Maybe talk about some of this, because that's only 4 guys out of the 11 on there. But how about some of the younger guys? Because you've had the influence on that roster. You see different guys that have been able to come into the lineup and step up, be younger guys and stuff like this, which goes to the DCFC program, right? So is there any guys that we should keep, have you've taken under your wing this year, or guys that you watch develop? Because as a veteran guy, that's an important part, of being a player too.
Yeah, I try to help everyone out. Obviously you've named 3 guys who have helped us a lot, but it's really a testament to the team. You have a guy like Matt Lewis who's back there with Steve, who's helped us a ton, and kind of done his role, and he's one of the guys who you can depend on every single day, and he's a guy in the locker room pushing the culture as well and making sure everyone's feeling part of the locker room. So he's been a huge addition. Obviously Reese out wide has done a great job for us. Declan on the other side has, he gives me a pass for the goal against Louisville, so I love that. If he keeps doing that, I'll be very happy. But it's Ruts in the middle. Lai and Brad have done a great job in the middle as well. So there's a bunch of guys in there who've every day show up and do their job. And I think it's really a testament to the team. You look at our team; it's really hard to kind of pinpoint one way to stop us, because I think as a whole we're really difficult to stop, because at any given moment anyone can really pop up and give us one of those big games that'll give us a W.
I got one more. You mentioned tonight there's a game that may dictate whether you guys which game is that and who are we rooting for?
Yeah, everyone's got to keep an eye on that Birmingham Legion Indy 11 match tonight. If Birmingham, you're rooting for Indy,
which is for me is
really hard to do.
Really hard. It's probably like Ohio State in football or whatever. Yeah. But hey,
a draw or a loss.
Yeah, a draw or a loss.
Ooh, even a draw.
Yeah, even a draw.
Right.
So just hold on, Antoine. I appreciate you sliding through, man. Coming in studio. Everybody standing behind you. Lots to talk about in the woodwardsports.com chat thread. Good luck on Saturday, and more importantly, good luck the following weekend.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That is the big one. Antoine Hoppenot, everybody. Detroit City FC. Appreciate his time. And you know what, D-Mac? Antoine Hoppenot, big hair guy, too, as we know.
Well, that's the whole thing. If you've seen the evolution, he came in here rocking the moulet earlier in the year. He's come in. He must be Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, 168 of them all throughout the country. And you come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience. You can register for once in a lifetime. Win the down payment for your dream home. Up to $200,000. Yes, I said it. $200K. That's Lady Jane's. Open 7 days a week, walking anytime. It's wicked awesome.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Neal Ruhl here for oddstrader.com, the #1 site for all of your game day betting activity, play-by-play updates, live scores, and maybe most importantly, the best price on every game from multiple sports books. Guys, tomorrow, as a matter of fact, there's no way in the world you're going to watch Washington against Chicago.
I'm watching it.
Unless you go to oddstrader.com, find the best price, and get your action in that way. The list is customizable. Set it up with the ones you have accounts with. No more messing around on your phone, opening apps, closing apps, none of that stuff. It's all in front of you. Fire away. Get the best price out there. oddstrader.com can help you do that and help you find your best bet. Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Big D Energy.
Can I lightly massage Darren McCarty over here for a second?
Yes.
Because I thought he was going to ask the question that no professional athlete ever answers. You're kind of saying, would you rather be home on the road? I thought you were going to ask him, what team would you rather play? Athletes never answer that question. I don't know anyone, but you didn't ask it.
No, because I knew that I'd get a better answer that way as far as everybody wants to sort of play on the home game, but I just wondered how the schedule played out. And, you know, my thing is that give these guys the props. They've done everything they're supposed to do for champions. And in our chat feed on woodwardsports.com, you guys get it because you guys are the ones that are into the
lots of positive vibes, man.
Well,
yeah.
Because I look at, our counselor, Robert Colosi out in San Diego, always filling in to understand, because you want to know about the city. So, Terry, that was a little tap dance I took a little bit from you, because I know that, we can't answer that.
Yeah, I know. I go up to him and say, hey, who'd you rather play in the Stanley Cup Finals? The New Jersey Devils or the Boston Bruins? And you get, well, they're both quality ball clubs and they're really tough to play. And I don't
So
really
did you
care.
like his answer? Was that a good?
Well, you always want to play at home, particularly when you're trying to grow a brand.
Can I ask Darren something?
Are they not? Because my point was that this is the team no one wants to play in their own building.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, out of what we've seen, because they try, and do they know that? I got it. We know. Yeah, we'd love to play in front of our fans. That's what we play the season for, home field. But if we got to go on the road, that's not an issue because we love it.
Yeah, and D-Mac, I got a question for you. Again, I like to tap this from time to time. Professional athlete.
I would have wanted to play Boston in '95, by the way.
All right. Looking back.
Looking back, hindsight.
He says 30 years later.
Yeah. But it's all right. I have time to think about
it. And I know this, like being an announcer that travels with the team, the road games are far easier to deal with than the home. I mean, far easier to deal with, just in terms of rest, of distractions, of dealing with stuff. Low key, the road game. You can say this now because you're retired. Road games are far easier, are they?
Well, it's about routine and it's boundaries, and you don't have as long as you set your boundaries at home, right? You know what I'm saying, on game days and different things, because you're dealing with a lot of Antoine's walking out there. What do we say? He's got a newborn baby.
Yeah, newborn baby, and right? She cries a lot. Yeah,
right. Things change. That life happens. Life doesn't change. As a professional athlete, one of the things is not only your training, it's your routine. right? Some people say superstition, but it's a routine. And your routine on the road, it's a lot easier. A lot easier. That nap's a lot easier. The lunch at the hotel is easier. You just got to focus on the game, and focus on playing. So a lot of times it is.
However, when you get younger players in those road games, you can tell they're like on the rink or the court saying, God, people here don't like me. And they play like crap.
And you know this, Terry, because you've covered it for a long time, and me being in all these gyms, when the snowball starts rolling away from you, you can't get it back sometimes. That's a difference, especially with young players.
Right. But that's the difference between a team that has come together that has leadership or a veteran team where they're aloof to that, or they have guys like Antoine or Stephen Carroll or Matt Lewis or whatever in the locker room that tell them, hey, task at hand. The lights aren't too big. That comes down to leadership and preparation. Right at the head, it goes to Trevor James.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Dave Schultz, DCFC, Detroit's winning football team. A lot of anti-Lions, pro DCFC banter in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Detroit Denver 3-1-3. Maxi Rodriguez hat trick was sweet. No, I appreciate Antoine though coming through the studio. How about this one? Thorneal Robinson says, "I hope Neal the Trash Man get his, because when we start winning, it's time for Neal to go." Well, I have a contract, so it's gonna be a while, man. So
we're gonna be a while until we start winning, or the contract runs out.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me to go.
Hey, just now, as long as you understand, Neal's MJF for the network, we're all right. He's getting his money. He's getting compensated. He didn't have to extend the deal.
Yeah, so, I don't know. Somebody's not a fan, I guess. Do I hate though? What's that?
What's your middle initial?
E.
NER. There it is. The MJF of FWSN. Get it out there. I'm getting shirts made.
Yeah, I don't know.
Neal, is outside of the keeper, is Antoine, you think is he the most important player to DCFC?
Yeah. I mean,
Maxi's up there too, obviously, just the goal scoring power.
But just they needed that guy that's been around, like that veteran guy.
But Neal, you nailed it. You need that attitude. Right, and when Maxie answers the question, well, I think my teammates do. It's because when you are an emotional person or emotional player, as long as the team sees that it's about making the team better. I've seen him this year do it to protect his guys. Like, he's a true veteran in that, and I think that the leadership that he's shown, because there was questions, right? There was questions about maybe his leadership coming into the season. Obviously coming from other spots and whatever else, but gosh darn it, he's been one of the absolute bright spots, and you can tell he's a leader in that locker room.
No, and you, again, like you said, you have when you're a team like Detroit City, you have to have that. I think any team needs that.
I just see the communication between those four. That's my starting with Nate, Steven, to Maxie, to Antoine, to Trevor. Right? It seems like that line of communication and the structure of the leadership and responsibility permeates throughout the locker room, and it shows on the field. And where does it show more? Like we were talking about, it's hard to play on the road in any sport, right? Because when the snowball starts going the opposite way, you got to have guys that can bust through that and stop it.
Mike G, WoodwardSports.com chat thread, says Terry loves road games, especially in Iowa City with Chesty Malone. Can you confirm?
That would be false, because Chesty Malone was not always in Iowa City. That was just one thing happening. She's from Detroit. So technically I like home games better, because I know she'll be here more often than Iowa City.
She's still out there getting it in?
When have we had our last contact with Chesty Malone?
In Iowa City, like 30 years ago.
Okay. Oh.
I don't chase these women.
Hell yeah, Terry.
Oh, was it ever implied? Was it ever implied? No, they come after the T.
Yeah.
Foss.
True. But, I like to remain humble, so I don't want to brag about it.
You'll always have that night in Iowa City.
That was... Well, Drew was the one that almost got killed.
Yeah,
right. We've had that story time with old Uncle T. Foss before. We definitely have. Chuck Brewer says, Neal, by the time you leave Woodward, will you have 4 or 5 furnaces? I don't know. I want to downgrade by that point, right?
He's going to have one, nuclear-powered furnace that just heats the entire house.
Do you need more than one to fuel the penthouse on the top floor? Is that what it is?
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
The kids move out the house. They're not coming back. maybe you'll be in a house with one furnace, like the rest of us.
And with like a heart monitor on me or something like that, so the furnace just goes off my body temperature and goes up or down just based on how I'm feeling. I don't even have to like get up or turn on the phone or anything.
Don't have to press a button.
No, brother, what you need is one of those I've fallen, I can't get up devices.
Life alert.
Did you guys, breaking news-ish, see Marvin Bagley? 3 to 4 weeks, bone bruise, sprained MCL.
Thank God.
Yeah, Rod Beard reporting. So
And that's Rod Beard. All right, very, very good.
That's a bullet dodged for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's only a minor payment.
I mean, as much as I like Darren and I think he's going to do well, he still is 18.
Well, doesn't he
years old,
need age-wise? But doesn't he need Bagley there to help him show the way? You don't want to throw him out in the open waters all alone.
Guys, okay,
he's 18 years old.
Guys,
Jalen Durham, we're talking
is
about.
18 years old.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett scored 10 points a game and had 5 rebounds a game when he was 18. Man, like easy, everybody.
And even when Darren is there and is playing, like, no pun intended, Bagley has the deepest bag out of our big men. Like, he's got the best offensive game, he's got the best low post game, he's got the best mid range game out of our big men. So you need a scoring option in the post.
Right.
And him and Cade are like tight. Like, they love each other, man. So it's good for chemistry too.
Yeah.
But haven't we learned our lesson in the city?
Apparently not, T.
Torque and Riley Green were supposed to lead.
That was the most rhetorical question Terry's ever asked. You know that. You know the answer. You've been around longer than all of us.
Aiden Hutchinson supposed to lead the defense. Torque was supposed to hit 40 bombs this year. Now you're getting Durham. He's going to lead the way. You know, don't depend on rookies. You just don't.
Yeah, I mean,
sometimes they happen, but most times
especially when they're 18 or 19.
Am I dressed like Spike Lee today? Mike G said I'm dressed like Spike Lee today.
Pull it. Give everybody a shot. Yeah, you are.
Hey,
you need some white frame glasses.
I like this jacket, man.
Yeah, you need some white frame glasses though, man. You do.
That's fair.
It's pretty tight though.
Yeah, it's not. I got it in Cali.
Did you?
Yeah.
I like the 90s vibe is strong.
It's got the throwback patch on the inside of it. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's warm too.
All he needs is 40 acres and mule. He'd be right there. I wouldn't know the difference.
How do you transition to Cintron? I don't know how you do it, so I'm just going to do it and tell you Cintron's the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. They've combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into the 6-pack sampler box. Okay. You can try Cintron's great tasting cranberry, classic, or sugar-free, all-in-one Red Wings themed package. Go to CintronWorld.com/Red Wings. We're just a couple days away. You guys can get energized with Cintron, and let's go Red Wings. Please.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Guys, is it time to get back in the battle against your weight? You feel like summer packed on a few too many pounds? Custom Health Centers can help take the willpower out of weight loss, whether you need to lose 20 pounds or 120 pounds. Custom Health Centers will help you do it quickly and safely. Go to customhealthcenters.com or give them a call, 844-789-THIN. That's 844-789-THIN. Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, T-Boss, Sam Flannel, Spencer Braxter. Here on a Wednesday. Appreciate Antoine Hoppenot pulling up on us. Detroit Lions on a bye this week. We have, we have discussed it to some degree. And we are going to get to a little college football later on as well. Sam Flannel has got to be excited because Penn State, Michigan's playing Penn State. They're only like a 3-1 favorite in this game. So, I'm told it's a big test. We will see. But anyway, we'll talk some college football coming up in just a little bit. For those that don't know, Rod Beard of the Detroit News reporting sprained MCL and bone bruise for Marvin Bagley, 3 to 4 weeks, looking like the timetable. So as Spencer said, we have dodged any significant, mass injury, it appears. So that is good. Good to hear, no doubt about it. People getting on Spencer's get up right there.
I thought White Man Can't Jump too. I did. That's the one that I went to.
What's wrong with his outfit?
I don't know.
It's colorful. It's young. It looks fly.
Ransom says.
Thank you, Terry.
Ransom in our WoodwardSports.com chat thread says it's giving off In Living Color vibes.
That too.
But the '90s were a great time.
In Living Color is a great show.
Yeah.
Bro. We got to talk to Danny. You were born a little too late. You should have been swapped with one of your siblings.
Yeah.
You should have been around
I think Spencer
earlier.
does fit the '90s
He
a
does.
little more than current.
Totally, bro. Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I lived in the 90s for like 4 years.
Look at the sick flow.
Yeah.
The sick flow should tell you right there.
Yeah, you were meant to be in the '90s, but you were not.
That was for 4 years.
You participated, I guess you could say.
You got your stamp.
Yeah.
Right. You didn't get to play.
And
all he did was throw up in the '90s.
That's it.
Like
probably crapped his pants too. If you
lower middle class household with 5 kids. I got all the hand-me-downs. We were a little bit behind on the time, so I lived in the '90s for a little bit.
Dr. Dirty D says it's still sharp AF.
Appreciate that, Doc.
Absolutely.
It is. It's tight. Doughboy Steve says, "Homie the clown." He don't mess around.
We don't play that. That's for sure.
We don't play that. Speaking of Homie the clown, don't mess around. What do you have to see from Dan Campbell? What's the bare minimum, T-Foss?
For him to come back next year?
I don't want to put a line on it per se. What do you need to see?
I need to see a man who's competent. I need to see a man who knows how to manage a game. And I need to see a man, and I'm not going to say out-coach another coach, but when the other guy pulls out the chessboard, you be able to compete with that guy, whoever it might be. And everybody's not going to be Bill Belichick, but I need to see if you can keep up with what's going on with the opposite.
Because Chuck Brewer says this, D-Mac, in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, says no more stupid calls. Calls always are stupid when they don't work.
But and here's the one thing. This question here makes me hammer the clock. Because I got every week you're going to be emotional.
So it's free pass
to the end of the year, and what do I need? Do I need to tell you, is Dan Campbell an NFL coach, right, to coach this team moving forward, right? With all these coaches, there's so much that has to improve all over the place. So I'm gonna let the clock run out, and no matter what decisions are made, work, not work, whatever, at the end of the season, I will look into this camera and say he is the right guy for this job or he's not. And right now he's not. So, but he's got time. And so I don't put it on wins and losses. I put it on improvement and adjustments. Do I see in-game adjustments? Do I see what Terry's talking about? When somebody pulls out the chessboard, can you pull out the chessboard? Do I see a coach? Do I see somebody who's making other teams react to decisions he makes, not reacting to them and reacting the wrong way? So, competency. That's what I need out of a head coach. I'm seeing all around.
Can he get that in 12 games? In 12
I don't know,
games.
but I'm letting the clock run out. Probably, whether you want me to say, do I think if I'm a betting man right now, do I think he is the right guy for the job? No. for the head coaching job. All you got to do is listen to the guy you should listen to a bunch of people. Braylon Edwards, on the bottom line, played in this league. First rounder, has been in crappy situations. What does he always say? You got to show me until I see it. Hearing it is one thing, right? All that stuff about motivation is great and all that stuff, but can you make the right decision for your team at the right time and have the right guys putting your guys in the right position like I see other teams? I see other young coaches. I see what Magic Brian Daboll's doing in New York without a lot of talent, right? You look around the league at the different other guys. I just got to, at the end of the season, is he an NFL coach or not?
Let me defend him from this standpoint.
Please.
Before the season began, we talked about the fourth downs and taking chances. And I said, for the Lions to be competitive, he's going to have to take chances. He's going to have to go for it on fourth down. And it's not going to look pretty at all the time, but that's what he must do. He can't play the conservative card and keep this team competitive with other teams. Now, the one call he's getting hammered on is the 4th and 1 to begin the game on the first drive. Now, I'm not going to come down hard on him because I know he gave a rookie quarterback a short field, but the Lions at some point have to put their boot down on your face. And that was the opportunity for them to do that. Now, it failed. So now we can't get into the thing of, yeah, you know what, the guy needs to be aggressive, but every time he's aggressive and fails, I'm going to rip him. Every time he's aggressive and succeeds, I'm going to praise him. You can't do that because, like I said, all those things are not going to work. And if you're a good team, you're supposed to make 4th and 1.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread, AC. It always comes down to Rick Ross. That's what AC says. It always comes down to.
Show us.
Yeah, right. And you know what?
Who else is there?
Who else is qualified to speak out other than Rose? You know, it's. I don't know the answer. Like what? Because it's not magically going to change in 12 games. And DMAC got me going, and I didn't feel like this at 10:58. But now as we sit going past noon, when we were talking about it, are we to the point where I want to fold the hand? Like, do I think this hand can win? Do I think it? Did I, was I in on the big blind with a suited 8-9, and now I have a 7, a jack and a queen up there on the board.
Gutter 10?
I need a good gutter 10. Do I need a gut shot? Do I need a gut shot draw to come in to get my straight?
Okay, so if you're going to take it to poker terms, right now and stuff like this, we're not sitting with any pairs, we're not sitting with the hand or whatever like this, and it comes, if you know poker at all, do you have to hit 1 card to win? Do you have to hit 2 cards? Is it a flush draw? You can hit 9 cards. Is it what are your odds right now? And right now, Neal, I would say your odds are 70% he's not the right guy. Maybe 75%. But the reason I have a clock here, the reason I started it 2 years ago is for situations like today and conversations, so I can go back and go, initially I put the clock up because he's going to give him 2 years. This is all part in the mix of the 2 years, so I'm just going to sit back and go, I'm going to wait. Because it's going to emotionally take me on a roller coaster if I get too committed.
And that's why I'm trying to work backwards here with T, is he's through the year for me, no matter how it goes. He's through the year.
But aren't we in the same position we were with him last year, except the other side?
See, I think
of the ball?
Worse.
No, okay, so it's worse. But did we not see adjustments made in the second half of the season was different than what we saw in the first? Even coaches. So
it was, but the schedule is getting tougher now.
Okay, I get it.
We're into that second quarter that we talked about.
Which it should be, because this is your second crack around doing the same thing. So throw tougher competition. Can you adjust? What I'm saying is that it's not all done. We're not done with him yet. We're leaning towards it. You're leaning towards folding your hand, Neal. right? But you realize that you're suited, and you got you got 2 spades in your hand. And there's a backdoor flush draw, meaning there's a flush. You could hit your backdoor flush, so you're going to take another card.
But see, we wouldn't be having this conversation if he didn't screw up the Minnesota game. It's not the New England game that put him down.
No, because
it's messing up that
17 games. There's going to be 2 clunkers in there. It's just the way it works.
But you can't give away games.
Right.
It's the coaching decisions. Right? It's the coaching decisions. In game, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely, you're not going to win making coaching decisions like this. The only guy who you could argue that does the same thing is the guy in Denver. Right? I mean, I'd rather have Dan Campbell than Hackett.
I asked my son that yesterday when we were driving in the car. I said, would you rather be the Broncos or the Lions right now? And he, without hesitation, he's like, I'd rather be the Lions. Because you know what the coach is. You know what the coach is with the Broncos. And you got Russell Wilson for $1 billion over the next 8 years.
You got him on draft capital and salary cap, too. Look at you.
He's like
working that rule.
His line was, you're sunk. If you're the Broncos, you're sunk. And I was like, because again, that's it sounded like a Spencer Raxter nickel package question. Would you rather be the Lions or the Broncos? And right away, you want to say the Broncos.
Yeah. No.
That's your instinct, but that's your instinctual answer is to say the Broncos. They got the flashy toy with Russ and Yo Seattle. We got a deal and
let's ride.
Yeah,
Broncos.
Let's ride.
Electrocuted.
But it's a franchise that's won before.
Right.
It's a franchise that knows how to win.
John Elway
this
doesn't
one
know
here
how to get a
doesn't know how to win.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It is.
Martha Ford and Sheila Ford Hamp are better at identifying quarterbacks than John Elway. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, it's right.
You know what else is a fact? No matter what, Guardian Alarm is going to protect my clock until it runs out, and you too. Right now is the perfect time to make sure you have peace of mind and home security from Guardian Alarm, the most trusted name in home and business security. 24/7 monitoring. You can have the peace of mind knowing that you're being backed by the best in a security business. So if you want to be part of the Woodward Sports Network family and Guardian Alarm, well, you can too, but I need you to call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
How many straight days? 145 straight days?
145.
145 straight days of flannel protection, protecting the clock. Guardian Alarm, local security experts. Call today, 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my
Can't
house.
lose on a bye week.
Make sure you let them know Big D Energy, Woodward Sports. We sent you.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Ribbit, get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long at Big Frog in Novi. Stop in, tell them we sent you. They'll print you one up, boom, right on the spot. So go to Big Frog Novi today, get your free t-shirt, or visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rexter here with you. And Bob Johnson, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. 3 out of our top 6 draft picks aren't on the field. Our great backups are Brockers, Chark, and re-signing Harris. What does Dan have to coach? I don't know, Bob. Like a gold jacket, offensive lineman, a all-pro caliber wide receiver, 100-plus tackle linebacker that was plucked in the 6th round. I don't know, Bob. That's what he's got to coach, Bob. I'm not having this, man. I'm not having the Brad Holmes stuff. And Terry, I'm going to go to you because you're a source on this. You've talked to many GMs over the years, new ones, old ones, hopeful ones, fired ones, all of them. If you can't see what the plan is from a financial perspective and what they were lining up, Terry, because as I've taken great pains to explain to everyone, the 90-ish million in cap space in 2024, 3 of the first 35 picks coming up in this draft. If you can't see every free agent or lack of free agent move, because we saw him get heat about lack of free agents move, and yes, I'm going back to this because apparently some people choose not to listen, so here we are, T. He can't come out there and say, look, I had to flush this thing financially, and we're angling towards 2024. He can't go to a microphone and say that.
He cannot, but that can be the game plan.
And that is the game plan. Guys, look at it. All the tools to see it out there are available to you. Look at how this thing progresses, everybody. If you can't see it, then I can't help you anymore.
Is it not fair that I have to clock on Dan Campbell to the end of the season, but Brad Holmes, if you want to reevaluate or give him, it's after the free agent period next year or after the draft.
Not even the free agency period. There's one more year where you got to eat it.
So really, his clock is 2 years from now,
right?
Because of where the money's at, where the draft's at. So his clock technically hasn't even started yet. But you see him rearranging the furniture, getting things in place, talking about the contracts, getting him off.
He didn't walk in here and sign Trey Flowers to $70 million contracts.
You have to make it apparent is there's two, right? People are fandom and I think it's the older generation. We look at sports in one-dimensional or 2D. It's 3D, it's 4D, because you have to look at the draft, you have to look at the draft capital, then you have to look at the talent. And right, there's two different things that people just don't. When they argue with you, they're arguing singularly instead of arguing both.
And it's ironic you bring that up. Bob follows up and says, so Holmes has time to progress, but Campbell doesn't. That's BS. No, because it's two separate jobs.
Yeah.
There's talent acquisition and there's a financial restructuring that have to happen. He's got to do them both.
And the other guy has to coach the team.
That's it. Help me, Terry.
All right, guys.
Or don't help me. Tell me I'm full of it.
Nah, you're not full of it. Here, guys, here's what's happened. Since 1999, the Lions have had Matt Millen, Martin Mayhew, Quinn Trisha. And so now you think this guy's going to walk in and build a roster in 2 years?
Yeah.
In 1 year or 2 years, whatever it's been? No. If you're going to do it right, where the franchise has been decimated for 20 years at least, there is a game plan that you must stick to, and I know people hate this word, but it's one of patience and building it the right way. Yes, he could have signed some two-bit free agent,
Jamie Collins,
right? And they could have
Trey
been
Flowers.
But then you'd have to get rid of that player in a couple of years, and then maybe you still have some cap ramifications. It would make no sense. So what the Lions must continue to do is get younger. Here, Neal, I know I don't want to make you cry, but less expensive, and then move on and build that way.
Is it fair to say what Brad Holmes is doing is not what Kenny Holland did?
It's the exact opposite.
Exact opposite. Instead of giving Stephen Weiss and Franz Nielsen all these and trying to make it in and just make the playoffs, this direction that Brad Holmes is taking the team and building it is to get to the playoffs and be a team that wins 9 and 10, is to be a division winner. Do you see it that way, Neal? Because if he did it Terry's way, then okay, you're 6, 7, 8. Yeah, maybe you make the playoffs, maybe you make the wild card or whatever, but you're not making your organization better in the long run.
Here's what he's done since he's got the Lions.
He came into Chernobyl.
He has one of the best offensive lines in the NFL.
When healthy.
I can't tell you the last time we looked at a Lions unit and said, that's one of the best in the NFL. You've never said that. Maybe you sort of said it with running back when they had Barry, or wide receiver when they had Calvin Johnson, but as a group, you never said that about a Lions unit. So, and DeAndre Swift, when he's healthy, one of the better running backs in the NFL. So he decided Let's build around him. Let's build around an offensive line. Where he failed was that the Lions continue to have an awful defense. And so maybe he could have made some other moves there, but he decided, I'm going to get one of the best wide receivers for the future. I have Pascal for the future. So I have some pieces that I can't play now, but I'm okay with that this year because we weren't going to the playoffs. We were going to stink and let these guys walk in and be productive next year, the following year, and the year after that.
Okay, I will draw the sword some more. William Turnbull, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. You made fun of GM John Elway, who has won a Super Bowl as a GM, but you defend Brad Holmes, who passed on a generational talent. It proves that you know nothing. Well, William, he had Peyton Manning for $15 million on that team. He had Von Miller for $9 million on that team. He had Aqib Talib on that team for $7.5 million, William. So that proves you know nothing about how finances work, William. I'm sorry, man. Those are the facts. You're telling me what you think. I'm telling you what we know.
What generational talent
did he
they're
pass
going to say Micah Parsons probably. Gold jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other gold jackets that were in that draft?
In that instance, you chose.
You chose your gold
line
jacket
or linebacker.
Hey, you made a decision, right? Like he's putting the one thing with Brad Holmes. Let me ask you this, Neal: do you see a direction that he's building this? Because Terry shows me that it's something that he's putting the stone pieces down. He can't build the road or the fence all in one day. Right, and that's the thing. It's almost like building your fantasy team where you have a keeper league and you got a guy that's on the IR or whatever, but you keep him, you don't get rid of him because you have use for him when this team's going to be good.
I think what fans are saying, let me get this guy, that guy, and this guy, and spread them all over the place. What Brad Holmes decided to do, let me build units. I want to build the offensive line, then I want to build the edge rushers, because what I've been told in this league, if you can disrupt the other team's quarterback and they're scared, that's huge. Getting rush ins, which he's getting, he got in Pascal and Aiden Hutchinson, and they're probably pan out at some point, but they're not going to pan out as rookies, and obviously Pascal is injured. But he's decided offensive line and now rush ins. I'm putting my hat on those.
And again, I'll go back to the Sewell thing. Even last week against New England, 100 yards rushing for the Lions. Mm-hmm. Do we forget? Do we forget what this Lions rushing attack was for 8 years?
But people don't pay attention to the offensive line. It's not like Penn Sewell is a turnstile. The dude is playing very well. So, but offensive line is not sexy. When somebody rushes for 100 yards, the way we look at it is just DeAndre Swift doing it. We don't realize the cohesiveness. We don't look at the choreography of the offensive line. But that's very important. And he's built one of the best in the National Football League.
Corona in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Never forget the Perriman signing. It was a $2.4 million flyer that had no long-term ramifications. He stepped up to the crap table on it. There was no risk involved.
Did we sign Brashad Perriman for 5 years, $100 million?
No. Did they give him a Kenny Golladay contract?
Yeah.
No, they didn't. Did they give him a Jamie Collins contract? No, they didn't. And again, you're spending $18.5 million this year on Trey Flowers and Jamie Collins. Still, I got to remind everybody that. D-Mac, I'm sorry that I have to go do that, but apparently I do.
No, you have to, because there's so many different, it's all the information, all of this power. It's, the way it is, and it should, right? Unfortunately, no. Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes aren't on the same clock, right? And coaching, I see arguments about, well, it's Holmes got to get him the talent. If the coach doesn't have the talent, then we can't do it. No, that has nothing to do with making the proper timeouts and coaching and making the right coaching decisions at different times.
I have a critical question for all you gentlemen and people in the chat. Who has more talent? The Detroit Lions teams this year or the Detroit Lions team the last year of Matt Patricia? Answer the question.
That's a very easy answer. You have one of the best offensive lines in the game now.
I think you have better talent on defense.
So you got a better roster now than you did at the end of Patricia, right?
100%.
We all agree on that?
100%.
At the end of Patricia, yes, because he got rid of all the guys.
Patricia won 6 games somehow.
Right. And you have an infinitely better financial situation.
Right.
Infinitely better.
So that tells you there is a flaw with the coach. If he's got better talent than a guy that we ran out of town and said was a nincompoop, then there's something wrong. See, the thing with Brad is people like him. He's likable. He's fiery. Dan Campbell. All these things that we like. He's all these things that fans have been asking for in a coach for years. The problem is he can't win, and he makes the same mistakes as a lot of coaches are making.
And it's traceable.
Correct.
Like when they arrested Al Capone, they didn't get him on murder. They got him on taxes because there was a paper trail.
Mm-hmm.
There's a paper trail with Dan Campbell.
Yep.
Quit hitting him with facts, bro.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Hey, I'll give you one more fact. How about that? Burgers and loaded fries available for limited time only. The all-new burgers and loaded fries are available right now at Big Boy. It's not just a Slim Jim. It's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? It's the bacon blue. While you're at it, upgrade those fries. Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
Burgers and fries. Burgers and fries. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Neal Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless, sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat the competitors' prices by at least $5. Don't forget to lock up the Australian Gold Designer Skin Caltan and Swedish Beauty Lotion, Spencer Raxter's favorite. Visit ChiliPeppersTanning.com. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. They are your vitamin D headquarters, 27 locations. More on the way. Homecoming season. Ask Chili Peppers Tanning about the airbrush tan at your local Chili Peppers Tanning salon.
Chili Peppers Tan.
You're welcome.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread back here, Big D Energy. Honolulu Blue Sparty. Neal, can we love Brad Holmes and still wish he didn't draft injured players? No, you can't, because we did the draft shows, man. We had 1,000 people out there at the brass rail. We had 20, almost 30,000 of you watch the draft show. When they traded, they made the trade and got Jamison Williams. That's all I heard under the table, D-Mac. That's all I heard under the table at the brass rail.
Ripped jeans.
Just over and over. No, you all loved it. So that's it then, right? Okay, WoodwardSports.com chat poll right now. Are you in or out? Are you in or out on Jamison Williams? In or out? Because I be consistent.
Here's where I just figured it out, right? You're on a drive to Florida. For those of us who have driven to Florida, let's just say it's 24-hour drive, right? Right now, you just get through Ohio, maybe you're into Kentucky and stuff like this. You know you're going all the way down to Miami or the Keys and stuff. Sit back, have a nap, go to sleep. When you get there, then you can decide, because all these decisions might play out. Because I know for a fact when Jamison Williams plays and he scores his first touchdown and all these people that are hating on drafting an injured player will be like, oh, it's the greatest thing since sliced cheese, right? So all of this just has to wait to play out, whether it's the Holmes, the Campbell coaching and stuff like this, unfortunately. Like Terry said, this is the long play. drafting these guys, the long play, and he had to have known it in his game plan. Like you said,
people don't like the long play.
And here's where the game plan started, Terry. You nailed it. Which future gold jacket guy am I going to draft? The offensive lineman guy or the defensive guy? I'm going to go with the one that I think is more of a blue chip stock, right? Hey,
or he said, I'm going to complete a unit. So this unit is going to be rock solid.
The Brad Holmes game plan is in place. And how do we see that? Because Neal tells us all the time. Look at how the money's getting better. Look at how you draft. You get rid of Goff. Now, we're cheering for the Rams to suck. So we're get a higher draft pick, right? So it's all part of his game plan that has to allow to play out in order for this to get structurally, culturally, everything better. Unfortunately, the last sign of this is in the wins and losses column.
Honolulu Blue Sparty, how is Levi Onwuzurike? He can't hit every pick, guys. Like, Terry, come on, man. He's supposed to go 12 for 12. Everyone's got to be a Pro Bowler. Like, guys, come on, man. Like, can we get realistic about this?
Good teams don't even do that.
Nobody does that. Not even close.
Right? Who's the best team who's the best drafting team out there? Go look through the ones that they've missed on.
Probably San Francisco.
Yeah, and you're right.
Yeah. So there you go. And they've missed on a bunch.
Mm-hmm. Solomon Thomas. Does that ring a bell?
Yes.
No.
You know who's the best drafter in history?
Killer?
Martin Mayhew, because he always picked the best player available.
BPA.
Wink.
Oh man, it's
before we get too far into our next segment, people were talking about me barely touching down in the 90s, not knowing what all that's about. Well, check this out, all right? This is the fam.
The Raxter clan.
This is the Rizzi clan.
The Raxter clan. It looks like the Partridge family.
This is the Rizzi clan. This is my mom's side. We're there for my grandparents' 45th anniversary. And this is, that's pretty 90 pictures. They got the big dog shirt. We got all the bright colors, all that good stuff going on in the back. It's my grandparents in the middle. That's me in the orange shirt, right on the other side of my grandpa.
I love it.
Just had to show the people.
Absolutely.
We've been there.
That's where you came from, kid.
That's the roots right there.
The roots.
I like it.
Yeah. Sick of the slag.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you, though, Spence. I'm with you. I did want to get into a little bit of college football, and we talked about rock bottom. And Spencer, I'm sorry, but you have to go back on the stand here. I did tell you guys once it got over 28 for the line, I am gonna pat myself on the back a little bit. What was the words? If it gets over 28, take Michigan State. Closed around 30, I believe. That was 30 and a half, something like that. But anyway, I digress. Spence, we'll go to you. I won't say that Michigan State was embarrassed by OSU.
I will.
I think it was pretty much what we thought it would be.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not what you guys thought it would be. Like you guys would say, oh, it's going to be 70 to 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty much what we thought it would be, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not really an embarrassment. It's not like what happened in Washington, what Minnesota did to us, because we expected that. We expected C.J. Stroud, and I called Marvin Harrison Jr. having 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He went out there and had 3 touchdowns.
Sunned a defensive back.
Yeah, it's sunned a defensive back. C.J. Stroud threw for 6. Like, if they didn't call the dogs off, they could have scored 70 if they really wanted to, probably more. So it's tough, man. And there are inner workings. Our inside sources are saying that Scotty Hazelton is going to get another go next year. And if Scotty Hazelton gets another go next year, I will not watch a single game of Michigan State football until
How can
gone.
that be, brother?
That's what I have no idea, man. I heard that yesterday, and it honestly hurt my heart. Like, if that guy should be publicly executed in the middle of East Lansing. And if he is,
I think that's a little strong.
If he is on this coaching staff next year,
Holy, we went Red Dead Redemption.
Now professionally executed.
Drawn and quartered.
That's a little much.
Little aggressive, my man.
Give him a blood eagle right outside, and he's like, no, but if he is on this coaching staff next year, I will not watch a single game. I will not go to a single game. I will not purchase a single Michigan State gear until basketball season, because that will be the biggest embarrassment in the history of my tenure being a Michigan State fan. Like, to the end of D'Antonio, where it was, I can't fire my friends, I'm moving guys around, I'm taking my linebackers coach and making him the DB's coach so I don't have to fire him. If that's what's happening, that is embarrassing. Scotty Hazelton, there is absolutely no factual reason he should be coaching for Michigan State next season.
T-Foss, your thoughts?
I'm stunned, man. My jaw is dropped. I know D'Antonio did this, but you know what? That's what head coaches do a lot of times. It's my boy, or I like him, or he'll turn it around. You know, he was bad the first 2 years, but he'll turn it around. So there's that belief inside the room. It's like when we talked about Dan Campbell earlier, rock bottom. In his mind, the game against New England was the worst game you're going to see this season. In his mind. May not be in ours, but that's the way the coaches think.
No, you're right. It's a couple things about the state.
There's got to be a pound of flesh, right? There's got to be.
Oh, I'm not even going to touch that, because to me that just brings up other questions of utter dysfunction in the program of not seeing it correctly, because there's no improvement. Yes, do you want to say, hey, moral victory, guys? You know, your high school team, played with a college team. What it showed me watching that game is Ohio State is getting better and executing better as a team, where Wyatt came out yesterday and said, I predict that Georgia and Alabama will not win the college championship. What it also brought up a question, and I have this for the Michigan people, does it not let you know a little bit more of what you need to do against Michigan State? Everything else aside, but you better go in there and put that same sort of game together and be that dominant over Michigan State, no questions asked, so that at least when we're coming up to the Ohio State-Michigan game, which we expected, we have two teams. Now, not to get Michigan ahead of Penn State this weekend, even though I'm going to, because I don't give James Franklin a lot of credit when it comes down to it, and I like this Michigan team, but that's my question is, did it show you as a Michigan what you really need to do against Michigan State getting ready for that one-game season against Ohio State?
Open it up and let it rip.
You know what Michigan needs to learn? Here's what they need. Respect Michigan State. Fear Michigan State.
Not this year.
Hate Michigan State. That's what they need to learn, because I had this conversation the other day. Michigan, for the last few years, always looks better than Michigan State, except when they're on the same football field. Now, there's something weird going on there. So if Michigan goes in like we're gonna kick their ass, we don't really hate this team, Michigan State will beat Michigan again this year.
Both teams showed me exactly what I thought they were. OSU this way, MSU not getting better. And then the fact that you say this, drop the bomb about Scotty Hazelton, and that's being back. Where's the improvement? At least we're having that. That's like if Brad Holmes came out or Sheila came out and said, no matter what, Dan Campbell will be here through 2024. Like, regardless of what happens. Hopefully it gets better. Hopefully this guy gets better.
Well, the mom sort of did that with Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
Her statement. Now, it kills me. People here don't know how to process things. They said that Martha Ford had a must-win for Matt Patricia to keep his job. No, she said everything but must-win. She said if the team is in playoff contention in December, then I'm going to keep him. Guess what? You could be 5-7 in December and you're in contention.
Until you're officially eliminated, right?
You're in contention. That's not must win.
Like right now, by definition, the Lions are in playoff contention because they haven't been eliminated. But it's time to roll the tanks in the streets at the same time. WoodwardSports.com chat thread real quick here. Dr. Dirty D. Thanks for the get right on San Jose State last Friday, Uncle Neal. Dr. Dirty D, you're welcome. I hope I got your weekend off to a very good start and you were able to capitalize on that momentum moving forward and got everything that you deserved and everything that you desired. Spence, it's time to talk about Phillips. Not Tony Phillips.
Not Tony Phillips. Not I can't think of another Phillips. We're talking about Mike Phillips, because whether you're a fan, a player, or anything else, helping you is Michael Phillips' top priority when you need to buy, sell, or invest in the housing market. Being in the game for 23 years makes Michael Phillips the #1 option for anyone. If you have real estate needs, call Mike Phillips at 313-403-0011. That's 313-403-0011. Michael Phillips, game on. This is Big D Energy, and we'll be right back.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, Darren, McCarty, Sam, Flannel, Spencer, Raxter, wrapped up the WoodwardSports.com chat poll. Are you in or out on Jamison Williams? 87% of you say you're in, so then it's a good pick. So there's another one.
Yep.
That's what I'm told. That's what I'm being told by all of you right now. So there's another good pick. Our good buddy William Turnbull, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. You know, it's pretty bad when your cherished Holmes drafted Sewell, who wasn't even the best left tackle in the draft. Darasaw is better than him, Neal, and now we have the 3rd best left tackle in division. Woo-hoo. Well, William, he's playing right tackle. That's how good he is.
That's how good he is.
Yeah.
Going to play out of position.
No, Darasaw is not better than him. But people still clutching that Bakhtiari thing, aren't they, Sam Flannel? They are, aren't they?
I mean, he's one of the best tackles in the league, or has been. But I think Penn Sewell is probably past him by now. Because, I mean, David Bakhtiari, he can't even stay healthy, honestly.
Right, absolutely. The same thing you're beating Brad Holmes up about. You're clutching to your bosom there with your Bakhtiari thing. But that's cool, man. I appreciate you tapping into the show and appreciate you contributing. No question about that. Troy Fiegel says fear MSU LMAO. They're doing it again, Terry.
They do it every year. They do it every year, and then they get their asses kicked and say, we didn't care about the game. Care about the game.
Mark Grice says, Harb's coming. Well, early, let's jump into it a little bit. I saw around town anywhere from 7 to 7.5, Michigan, the number over Penn State. And I was listening to some of the national stuff, national college football people on the way in. And they seem to have this game sized up, D-Mac, kind of the same way I do, where you're going to find out about somebody in this game. Now, Penn State, as we found out later, Auburn is very offensively challenged. I like to say vertically challenged as far as their offense is concerned. They are not vintage Auburn. Bo Jackson's not walking through that door. But I give
Cam Newton at quarterback.
Yeah, but I do give Penn State credit. You know I'm not one that's quick to give Penn State credit or James Franklin credit. They did go down to an SEC stadium that wasn't Vanderbilt and drummed them.
Is it fair to say Penn State's better than maybe we gave them credit for, or James Franklin is coaching this team better to where they're at?
We'll find out this weekend. That's what this weekend is.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Right? I don't fear Penn State. Penn State's done what they were supposed to do. I think I have a bias against James Franklin, so I'm a little twisted. But I think this is a game. And what I saw out of Michigan last week and what I've seen out of J.J. McCarthy is progress, right? It's progress. Now, hopefully, like you said it, building up to it, they got to go take care of business. I don't think that's a... If Michigan's the team that we think they are, that shouldn't be a hard number to cover. Is that fair?
Plus, doesn't Penn State come up here every year and lay an egg?
Oh, they get mollywopped, to steal your term.
So 7.5 is nothing.
Right.
That's where my head's at. But tell me why that's wrong, Sam.
I mean, if Michigan is the team that I think they are and hope that they can be coming to the end of the season, they do win this game handily. They are the better team on paper. But the one thing about Penn State that's a little bit sneaky, the one thing about James Franklin that he has actually proven to be good at, is that man can flat out recruit. And he has freshmen who are proving to be dudes, like the dual threat at running back. One of them's averaging 5.3 yards a carry. One of them is averaging 7.3. Their leading sack artist, Dennis, I think it's Dennis Dixon, he's got 3. And then Abdul Carter at linebacker. These guys are dudes. And also the secondary. Joey Porter Jr. is one of the best corners in the country. I think we would all agree with that. And then Jameer Brown at safety. But that being said, Michigan still has to win this game because they are at home. They have the better roster. They have a big-time quarterback advantage. I still think Sean Clifford for Penn State sucks. And they just have to take care of business. They've got a running game. They've got an offensive line. They've got weapons, and they have to use them. And Michigan also proved last week that they have a defensive line. They have edge rushers that can get after the quarterback. Mike Morris, Ayabi Oki, and then Mozzie Smith clogging up the middle, kind of playing, and I'm not saying he is this guy, but the Jordan Davis sort of role of, clogging up holes and picking up double teams but not getting numbers. So this game for Michigan, they need to go in, they need to take care of business. I have them winning by about 10-14, and that would mean they cover. But you also can't overlook that Penn State is better than we thought they would be, and I think are clearly improved, at least on their roster, over last year.
Now, I want Mr. Sam to put on his thinking cap, because I got a question for you, brother. We are halfway through J.J. McCarthy, playing this year. And we heard so much about this guy. He's got to, he's got to be the starting quarterback. He's going to elevate Michigan. This guy is great. From what you've seen of J.J. so far, is he a little better than you thought he was going to be? About what you thought he was going to be? Or is he a little worse than you thought he was going to be as starting quarterback?
That's a tough question because
I can't wait to hear this.
That's why I ask questions. They're all tough.
So before he answers, by his response right there, it's gonna be down to he hasn't been availed the playbook that he should be. Go ahead.
Give me the excuse.
Okay, it's not an excuse. I'm gonna say that he has been a little bit underwhelming to what we thought he could be, but that doesn't mean
he leads the nation in completion percentage.
He does, and he leads the nation. Another big stat, he leads the nation in yards per attempt on play-action passes. That is a true statement, by the way. I saw it and I confirmed it. But that means that if they...
You see that on mgoblue.com?
No. He doesn't have a lot of attempts, though. So I would say that J.J. McCarthy has been a little bit underwhelming from what I was hoping he would be, but that doesn't mean bad. I still think he is a clear and present upgrade over a guy like Cade McNamara, and I think that Jim Harbaugh and the offensive coordinators do need to utilize his skill set a little bit better. You see that it works when you roll him out, when you give him play action. Michigan has a good running game, so use the play action game to your advantage more often. And I think coming up against Penn State, they might need to score some more points. They might need to air it out a little bit more. And then I don't want to look ahead, but going into Michigan State, I think that's the game where Jim Harbaugh, if he hasn't already, you've got to cut the shackles off because they need to baptize this Michigan State team. They need to put 45 on them. J.J. McCarthy has to put up 4 touchdown passes because in 2019, I mean, it's not a complete...
He keeps calling for it every week. But he's going to be right one of these weeks.
But think about it. In 2019... Michigan, that was the one year where they took Michigan State. They didn't overlook this game, and they went out and they just pounded them to the tune of 44-10. And Shea Patterson that game, Shea freaking Patterson, who I've underrated a little bit, but we don't think was a great quarterback, had his best game as a Wolverine by far. He torched that secondary, which is a better secondary than the one J.J. McCarthy is going to face in 2022. So in these next couple games, I really want to see J.J. McCarthy, the shackles taken off a bit, because I don't think he's even tapped into maybe a fourth of what he can be. But what he has been is still really good.
All right, Flannel, I look at you as a son, and I want to hold you close to my bosom. And I've tried to tell you, and you don't listen because you know what? I'm not going to fault you. You're young. You're young and a little bit dumb. But I told you JJ wasn't going to be that much greater than McNamara for one reason. Jim Harbaugh is not going to allow it. He's not going to open up the offense. He's not going to let this kid just go running and ripping up and down the field. Because, once again, Harbaugh didn't do it in the NFL. He didn't do it at Stanford. He didn't do it at Michigan. He's not going to do it for JJ. His philosophy is this. If I have the best football team on the field, why do I have to gamble? Why do I have to let my quarterback do crazy stuff? I can be conservative, I can win, and I can move on. That's why he's not going to do all these wild things you want him to do.
I mean, I think you're right to an extent, Terry. My thing is that we're not asking J.J. McCarthy to do these crazy things, do these like super dynamic things. We're just asking the offense to be opened up a little bit. We're asking a little bit of play action. How did that work for them in the first half against Indiana, them not really opening up? That was the worst half of football Michigan has played all year. And in the second half, you saw them give J.J. McCarthy more play-action opportunities. You saw him lead 3 touchdown drives, one of them a 98-yarder that culminated in that rollout touchdown pass to Cornelius Johnson. Welcome to the season, by the way, Cornelius. But that's what I want to see.
Hey, I love it when they eat their own. Right? Just a bunch of piranha. Praying mantises. Just, nice of you to show up, bro.
Wait, Sam, I want to hear your thoughts on that. Somewhat that, like Andrell Anthony, why hasn't he been used at all? Yeah. Where has he been all year?
That's who I should have said welcome to the season to, because Andrell Anthony has literally done nothing. They haven't even really targeted him. They did once against Iowa. That was one of the best throws of the season by J.J. McCarthy. And then they did target him a couple of times against Indiana. But Andrell Anthony just knows how to find holes in the defense. You see it. But I don't know why they're not using him. I think it's honestly malfeasance at this point. When is Andrell Anthony going to break out?
Yeah,
we'll see.
I thought he was their best receiver coming into this year.
I thought he was at least their most talented. Maybe not their most polished, but as far as raw talent, speed, Andrell Anthony's probably the best they got. Why don't they use him? Your guess is as good as mine at this point.
You know what they're missing? JJ's missing the long passes over top. He's overthrowing guys.
1 or 2, I was told, Terry.
Oh, yeah, just once. One time he tried to go deep.
That's a Sam Flannel line.
Right.
But the one he missed against Indiana, it was good coverage on Ronnie Bell anyway.
All right, let me tell you about Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is offering a special $1 down, $10 a month opportunity for you from now until October 14th. So you got to move fast, everybody. You got a couple days left. Join today in club. You're going to pass a couple on the way home. Or online at planetfitness.com. Woodward Sports will be broadcasting live from the Planet Fitness on Ryan Road in Sterling Heights all day on Wednesday, October 26th. And you can win some great prizes. Michigan State tickets, along with a 1-year free Black Card membership to Planet Fitness as well. There'll be a signed Darren McCarty jersey, a signed Braylon Edwards jersey, all up for grabs that you can win at Planet Fitness on Ryan Road in Sterling Heights on Wednesday, October 26th. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Bicep Day, where your fitness is essential.
At work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi.
With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
At Alta, Uptime Matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. If you have a bog project coming up, it would be malfeasance, wrongdoing, if you didn't give Alta Rent a call, because they got you covered. So give them a call today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA.
Malfeasance, final segment of the show. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster. Sam Flannel, Spencer Racker, Darren McCarty here in the building. Jack Harrington says that Alabama, Tennessee will be better than Michigan, Penn State. Yes, agree. Even Sam Flannel agrees with that one. Tomorrow, we're going to get into some deeper dive Red Wings discussion, like roster-wise, how it fits, how everything looks. Mike Gentry in the house, D-Mac, right?
Yes,
I was told.
He said he's going to be at practice, but he can VMix in.
All right, yeah. Let's do it then.
Straight from down there, let's do it. And then we get the vibe and the feel.
You get the feel, yeah.
Feel what's
absolutely
going on. Line combinations, defensive pairings, starting lineup, opening night Friday. Oh, my God.
Quentin Yearling, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Are we surprised that the QB guru Harbaugh can't get the full potential out of a QB? Dude is overrated.
I mean, we're comparing J.J. McCarthy to guys like Shea Patterson, Jake Rudock, and Wilton Spate. I think J.J. McCarthy is a little bit more talented than those guys. And by a little bit, I mean wipes the floor with them talent-wise. 5 times the quarterback any of those guys were.
Like John O'Corn?
So he's 5 times better, but he's a little bit better. Which is it?
5 times better. He's got all the talent in the world. Come on. Those offenses with Shea Patterson, Wilton Spate, and Jake Rudock were more conservative. They just were.
Oh, absolutely. I love it, man. I love it. Anyway, you got a question for D-Mac or T-Foss? You want some legendary stuff? Final couple minutes of the show. You got to get them in there. Get them in there pretty quick. Did we resolve anything today, T-Foss? We get anywhere?
No, I think we kind of bickered a little bit with the people. So, here's what we're thinking. The people, it seems like they're a little bit, they feel that we should be rougher on Brad Holmes and kind of leave Dan Campbell alone just a little bit.
I don't know. I clutch to somebody showing some competency. I clutch to that because I don't see it a lot.
If he were 2-3, we wouldn't be talking about this.
And you're right, and that's wild to me.
If he didn't screw up the Minnesota game, he'd be like, okay, whatever, dog.
William Turnbull, WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Neal, that's a take I actually agree with. Good job. Neal, agree to disagree on Brad Holmes, but still love the show. Hey, well, we can be adults about it, man.
It's okay to we can agree to disagree.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's called Enjoy My Truth for a reason. We all have our truths. Sometimes it's just you need. The truths are different because you're availed more information than not. That's the whole understanding is if you're having a conversation, if somebody's dealing with 10 facts and you're only dealing with 1, well, what kind of conversation can you have?
Coquet says, 2 better teams than Michigan and Michigan State will be on the field than Alabama in the Tennessee game.
And nobody's going to fight you. Nobody.
Michigan's better than Tennessee. I'm going to plant my flag right there.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure we're going to get that in the Capital One Bowl or something like you know we are, right?
That's
you
right.
know we are.
Outback Bowl, baby.
Yeah, whatever.
No, what was that? The Citrus Bowl?
Yeah.
You can't have citrus without UT.
Yeah, Steve.
You know what we learned today? We learned that Sam's unintelligence is his stupidity is due to his youth. That's what I learned today.
Well, what about this? Here's an Ask Flannel that came in
Whoa.
from Mike G. Is this a referendum game for Blake in his Heisman push? He has to light up PSU, right?
Well, this isn't a referendum game, but if you want to be in Heisman contention as a running back, you got to light it up every week.
So what's he have to put down?
I would say to be in Heisman contention, at least 125 and a touchdown.
No. Brother, you go way high. You know, he needs one. I got 194 and 2 touchdowns.
Hey, you know what? You're going to see somebody do that in the Marshall game tonight. Louisiana Lafayette Marshall game. One run. So that whoever running back does that in that game, he's in or what?
No, because Blake Corum already has a head start. You saw the Heisman odds. Who's the highest ranked running back out of all of them? Blake Corum, just like I said, 2022 Doak Walker Award winner. I'm calling it.
Okay.
A lot of great fun today, guys.
It was a good time.
And Flannel, what's your fantasy record now?
4-1.
Ooh!
On behalf of Sam Flannel, suck on that, baby! Right. Thanks everybody for watching Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Team Pause, Sam Flannel, Spencer.
I love this guy.
Well, see you later, baby!